Okay, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful gift bag. It's actually not as large as it looks here. This is made from a piece of 12 by 12 designer series paper, and what I love about it is the beautiful Victorian stamp set called Good Cheer, set off by the warm colors of creamy caramel cardstock and garden green with the touches of natural hemp and some greens from the, well, fake greens from Macy Moore Michaels. Gives this a very homespun, handmade look, kind of reminds you of the old days. Okay, so the trick to this little bag, which you can see, I think I mentioned, is a 2-pocket bag. And I'll show you kind of the master diagram on this that I'll have on my website. What I've done is I've taken a 12 by 12 piece of designer series paper and score it at 3 inches and 8 inches on the 12-inch side, and then I cut 2 inches off the other side to make this 10 inches, and I score it at 4, 5, and 6, and then fold it on these lines. So these are our fold lines, and I'll actually show you with the real paper. This is the designer series paper, and working with it with the side, or the the color that I want on the inside, I'm folding these two in. This is the 12-inch side that I folded into itself. Then I'm going to fold up the middle and pulling up that. And you could see, actually, I make this a lot of times without even using glue, because when you cut that paper 12 inches by 10 inches, you're left with a 2-inch strip 12 inches long, and you could use these strips for a number of things. One of the things that you can use it for is to make little mini cards that match, or in this case I do use it to hold those two sides together, and really with no additional glue needed. I would cut this about 4.25 inches by, score it along the 2-inch line, and here you go, you have your, whoops, you have your pocketbook. The handles were done by taking a piece of wide grid grain ribbon, and when setting it with eyelets, I find that it's easier to put the hole in the ribbon directly. And then I'm going to use these brand new brads. They're the neutral assortment of brads. I'm going to, all 4 fronts, all 4 sides, I'm going to punch for the handles, and I'm going to thread the brad through here, thread the brad through the punch that I pre-made in this ribbon, and it makes it a lot easier to set these four brads in. So see, we're going to, I'll spare you the details, but do the same thing over here. Set that one and then set the other 2. And actually, I mean, this makes it a little purse looking object, but you don't really need to put handles on it at all, or you can find another way to put handles on. Now, the artwork on the front of the card was done with watercoloring, and I'm going to show you how that was done. I get a lot of questions about how did you color that. This is my favorite, and this is the fastest way to do, and I'll pull my camera in a little closer, to do the watercoloring. I actually take an aqua painter, and directly onto the crayon. I'm using the watercolor crayons, Earth Elements, and I am pulling it with a little bit of the with the tip of the aqua painter, and I'm going to start with my reindeer here and put a light wash over the whole thing. Then I'm going to go back, pick up a little heavier, and then fill in, leaving light and dark areas on the reindeer. I'm going to take a little bit of the darker brown, it's a different brown, and do the antlers. Okay. For Santa, okay, move that in there. For Santa, starting with his face in the earth elements, I'm actually going to pull from the salmon color here. And it's actually Cameo Coral. And I'm going to take that and put a little bit on his face. That will give a warm skin tone color to his face. And I'm going to extreme close-up here for Santa and take a little bit more of that coral color and add some rosy cheeks. And as I can recall, Santa has pink cheeks. I'm going to take the green and work on the leaves around his head. All I'm doing is taking the green here with the tip of my aqua painter and going around and coloring in the areas that are leaves. And then I'm going to take a little bit more color and just dab one bit of color full strength in the middle of each one of these. This will give light and dark areas on each one of these leaves, and it will give it a the look of more realistic look, I should say. And I'm going to clean off the crayon or the aqua painter by actually just cleaning off by, I have a piece of paper to the side and I'm just taking the color off by rubbing it on the paper. So now I've got the red here, ruby red, and I'm going to go back and add ruby red in each one of these. Okay, so to fast forward through this, I'm going to show you the final product here. I've cut out these two, or these three images, pan out, and what I did was I actually superimposed these three images, popping up the reindeer, I almost said Rudolph, and putting them on. The last kind of touch of color that I put in there was I took a piece of garden green and stamped Santa's face, and I'm going to punch out the Happy Christmas. And all of these combine to make a very interesting piece, as you can see in here. And they are popped up by dimensionals. Okay, that's these dimensionals. And again, I added a little bit of natural hemp and greens that you can get in any craft store. And that's the greens that you see here. Inside this, I made a little card with that matches a 3x3 envelope. Just a very simple 3x3 greeting from the Good Cheer set as well. So the whole thing was topped off with some glitter. You can see the glitter in Santa's hat, and that's our chunky glitter, which I absolutely love. And the bow is made with a small piece of our white satin ribbon. So that's our project for today. Good luck and happy stamping and Merry Christmas!